guys? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Angie, and today, first of all, I needed a little bit of a scenery switch up. I needed to go outside, so I needed to film this outside. I needed air. Anyway, today's video is about beginner friendly makeup. So I'm going to show you step by step how I achieved this makeup look. And yes, we are outside, so this is how it looks, you know, without any lights or anything like that. So if you want to see how I achieved this look, keep watching. Okay, so our skincare was already done. That's going to be your first step. You're going to want to prep your skin, cleanse it, moisturize, eye cream, all of that good stuff. What I like to do first is I like to do my eyebrows first. This is actually going to be the first time I do my eyebrows on camera, so you guys can kind of see how I do them. Now, my brows are already shaped, so I'm just kind of filling in the sparse areas that, you know, need that extra love. I do tend to keep my brows pretty thick. So here I'm just gonna come in here. Kind of like line it first. Shape this part here a little bit. As you can see, we're already like coming together. Light hairs. And I'm keeping it a very natural brow today because this is a beginner makeup look, so I want it to be as easy as possible. Now what I'm going to use to clean up my brows is the LA Girl Pro Concealer. This is a really affordable, great concealer to use. I love using it to clean up my brows. And you can also use it as a regular concealer. So that's what I'm going to use. And then I take a very small brush underneath my brow. So you can see I'm just getting really close under there. This is just giving it the shape that I want it to have. Up here. And I know it looks super light, but I'm gonna put my foundation on, so everything will be blended out. I know it look a little crazy, but it's all part of the process, and you have to trust the process. So I take this is my favorite concealer brush, and it is by e.l.f. I love this brush. I'm going to use this brush to blend it out. The part on the bottom, I'm gonna blend it towards my eyelid, and that's gonna also help be a base if I use any eyeshadows. I'm taking the brush side, this is called a spoolie, of the eyebrow pencil, and I'm going to brush the product. This is how you get that fade effect. Easy, natural looking brows. So now we're going to get into complexion. Before you put on your foundation, you're going to want to use a primer. And the purpose of a primer is to give that layer between your skin and the foundation. Now, they have different primers that are going to target different concerns. So if you're oily, they have a mattifying one. If you're dry, there's a hydrating one. So as far as picking the right primers, that's going to kind of determine, that's going to kind of fall into what exactly is the effect that you want. Today, I'm going to be using the Lancôme primer. Now, I really like this one because it's actually a primer, a moisturizer, and it has SPF. So for a daytime look, it has everything I need all in one. Your primer, you're gonna wanna press it in. You can use your hands or a brush. I'm just using my hands. The foundation that I'll be using today is the Clinique Beyond Perfecting 2-in-1 foundation. It's a foundation and concealer together. An alternative for a drugstore brand would be the Maybelline Fit Me. That's a really great foundation. And the Super Stay. Another favorite foundation of mine is the Cover FX. That foundation is my top favorite foundation. I wore that to Trinidad for Carnival. My makeup stayed in place. It's an amazing, amazing foundation. It's one of my favorites. And like everything, I'll be listing everything down below in the description so you guys can check out, see what you like, see what you don't like. So how I like to do it is I put some here. Really love using a sponge. Now, the Beauty Blender, which retails at $20, is a really great one. But I have actually found alternative that works just as good for me, and that is the Real Techniques sponge. I actually can't remember the last time I owned a beauty blender. This one gets the job done, and I want to say it's about $5 or $6. So this is what I'll be using to blend out my foundation. Now for blending out your foundation, you're going to want to kind of tap it in, as you can see I'm doing. So I'm literally tapping it in, and this is a great match for me. Concealer that I'm going to be using today is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. Like I said, another alternative would be the LA Girl concealer. That is a pretty good concealer. Maybelline actually has some really good concealers. Now, the purpose of a concealer is to conceal, but also it's to highlight certain areas of your face. So you want your concealer to be 2 shades lighter than your foundation, 1 or 2 shades. It really depends on your preference. And you want to make sure that it has the right undertone. So I'm going to place it right here. I tend to do it in a little bit of a triangle form. Another place that I'm going to highlight is the bridge of my nose. The step that I've been actually doing before I blend out my concealer is using a setting spray. This one is by Produi Natal. It's called the Moisture Mist. And this just brings some hydration. I just like how it looks. Then I go back in with my sponge. I like to blend out this part first. Now when I'm blending under here, I tend to look up to really get a better blend. You really want to press that concealer into those areas. So I'm looking up as I press it in. The next step that you're going to want to do is set that concealer. For that, I'm going to be using a translucent powder by Huda Beauty. A alternative I can suggest would be the Maybelline Fit Me. It's pretty good. I'm taking the same blender. I'm actually covering my eyelid too. So I'm not in the baking family. Some people kind of leave that on there for a little bit. I don't do that. I'm going to take a fluffy brush and a powder that matches my skin. This one in particular is by Makeup Forever. You can use Fit Me again. Maybelline just has some really good products. You can use Fit Me. They have a really nice pressed powder or whatever powder matches your skin. And that's what I'm going to use to buff away this translucent powder. So we're looking a little pale, right? To bring back some warmth, some life to my skin, this is where I add bronzer. Personally, I'm not a big contour fan. I like to just use a bronzer. If I'm looking for a super dramatic look, then I will contour, but for a regular, my normal makeup look that I would do, I would use a bronzer. This one is by Fenty Beauty. It's in the color Beige and Gal. I really like this bronzer. Alternative, NYX has some really nice bronzers. Elf actually has some as well. So I'm taking an angled brush like this, and I'm just using it. I'm going to make basically the number 3. So I bring it here and there. Now, this isn't a big eyeshadow look, but we do want to add a little bit of depth to our eyes. So I'm going to be using the Nubian by Juvias palette. And I want to get a color that's maybe slightly darker than my skin tone. So something very natural. And I'm just taking that. So we have a little bit of something happening on the eyes. Now, to give the eyes a little bit of a waking up, you're going to want to take basically a highlighter shade, something a little bit lighter. This one does have a little bit of shimmer, and you're going to place that in your tear duct area. Now, getting back on a little bit more of the complexion, I'm going to now highlight. I like to use a fan brush. This one's pretty huge for highlighting. And I'm going to be using this Kevin Aucoin palette. This is like my favorite. Elf has some good highlighters. Maybelline, again, has some really good ones as far as for drugstore alternatives. So I'm taking this shade right here. And where you want to place your highlighter is basically above where you put the bronzer. So I like this because it gives a good angle. I put it here, and then I use this to put it there. So it kind of looks like an L. You can place your highlighter basically everywhere you put, well, some places where you put the concealer. So I place a little bit here, a little bit above my lip. The biggest thing with everything is blending. And because we're doing beginner friendly, we won't be doing any lashes today. But I am going to be using one of my favorite drugstore mascaras, and that is the Pumped Up Colossal by Maybelline. I really, really, really love this mascara. Now we want a bit of a dramatic lash to kind of compensate. So I'm going to be very heavy with applying my mascara. So first I start at the top and kind of use the brush to curl my lashes. If you can see, I'm turning it as I apply it. Bringing it up. Look at the difference. Look at that. Now, some people, you can use a eyeliner. Personally, I don't use an eyeliner. Yeah, I don't use an eyeliner on top. And I'm fine with it like this. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Most of the times I don't, though. So this is us with just one coat already. So even though I don't do the liner, I do like to put a dark colored eyeshadow underneath, and to me it gives just a different look. So I'm taking from that same palette this darker shade, and you can use a liner for this step, but I like how the shadow looks, and I'm using this type of brush, so something very flat like this, very short. This is going to be good for smudging. I actually got this one from the beauty supply store. It's Ruby Kisses. Any brush that's similar to this will do. And I'm going to take that, sit underneath, very close to my lashes. See? I just like the look that it gives. Now, the next step is going to be lips. This has become one of my favorite combos. for lips, and it is the NYX brown lip liner. First, line my lips with that. Then for lipstick, I use by Huda Beauty. This is a matte lipstick in the color Interview. Another alternative would be by NYX. They have their cream lip stains. Those are freaking amazing. I love them. So that's another alternative for a good mattifying lipstick. So I'm going to use this one. And this color is kind of like the perfect nude for me. And to top everything off, you're going to want to set your face. So once again, I'm using my Produi Natal. It's important to set your makeup. It helps everything just kind of come together. If you're oily, it's going to help mattify you. And if you want more of a dewy look, you get like a nice hydrating setting spray that's going to give you that look. But it's very important that just like you set with your powders, you follow up and set with your setting spray. And I don't look pale at all. It just looks really good. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to try to bring more of these beginner-friendly makeup looks because I'm realizing that, you know, it's something that a lot of people want to see. So if you have any suggestion of a very specific topic that you want me to cover, please leave it for me in the comments so I can, you know what type of content you guys want to see. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Catch you in my next video. Bye.